Introducing Naturally You, a podcast celebrating the unfiltered stories of inspiring women, each one as rare, radiant, and resilient as a natural diamond. Welcome to Naturally You. I'm here today and I'm so excited with Samantha Feher, content creator, entrepreneur, multi-hyphenate
all the things.
Yeah. I was like, what are you going on? We're going to talk about like all the things that you do.
If we just talked about my jobs, we'd be here all day. So we'll just do the cliff notes.
So I first got introduced to you through Summer House because I'm a big Bravo fan. What was that like?
It's so weird. I mean, I would say it wasn't as weird for me as it probably is for people who just like raw dog being on TV. I grew up like an actor, dancer, singer. So I was very used to being on stage, having a lot of eyes on me. And then I started doing content creation in like 2015, 2016. So super used to cameras. And like I did some TV work in my acting era. I like hosted a pilot TV show that like didn't get picked up, but I wasn't unfamiliar with the experience. So everyone's like, oh my God, how weird is it to like always have a camera and you can't look at it. And I was like, it's actually been my job for my whole life. So it wasn't as weird for me as for other people.
Did you get like plucked out of social media or like how did they find you?
So
like you were the only like new person that
I was one of three, but the way they try to build the cast is through organic friendships. So they're like, who does Amanda know? Who does Kyle know? Like who's going to be an interesting friend of theirs so that when you get to the house, you have some sort of foundation. Right. Because if you walk into a house full of 11 people you've never met before and like don't know anything about, I can't imagine how you proceed to like have normal conversations with these people. But I had kind of run in the same circles as Amanda for like years and years. She worked at Lossy 10 in like graphic design for a while. And I was in media, I was in magazines. And so we had just crossed paths a couple of times. And then in the casting process, they like have you meet up with someone from the cast to like grab lunch or grab dinner and just like get a vibe check from the cast member to be like, do you think they're going to be a good fit? So Amanda and I hung out one-on-one that way. And we literally sat there for like 5 hours, just like jamming. We just really clicked. So I think that's mostly how they do it. And I do think they probably use a lot of social media to do the sourcing because I mean, this day and age, everyone's social footprint is huge, right? And so they can get a real idea, I think, of your personality before they even bother interviewing you.
I love reality TV and I'm like, it's my dream to be on reality.
No way. You should do a show here.
We've actually been like in the past have talked to people, but we have like too much confidential like information on clients. So
and also probably not enough drama
about our clients and like I don't want drama in the office.
Right. It's your career.
Like, great. Yeah.
Sure. Understood.
I thought you were like a star that season and like
honored. You
had like a relationship. It was like great. So what happened? Why aren't we seeing you anymore? Want to do it?
Well, I wasn't asked back is like a big thing, right? Like they have to invite you to hang out at that house. You know, there's always speculation from the fans and from people like, why didn't you get asked back? What was going on? The truth is you don't know. They either call you or they don't. And at first, I will be so real. I was like so sad. I was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Like I thought I had a really good time. I thought people liked me. Like we had fun together. We made memories. And at like while you're on the show, you can kind of gauge how the audience feels about you. And I remember being like, you know what? I was really authentic to myself that summer. And I got the best advice ever from one of the producers, which was people are going to love you and people are going to hate you. So if you pretend to be someone you're not, the people who love you and hate you are going to love you or hate you for like this character you put on. So you might as well be yourself because if someone's going to love you, you want them to love you for your authentic self. And if someone's going to hate you, you want them to hate you for your authentic self. Like, okay, you're just not my people. And so I really took that advice to heart. And I remember just thinking like, wow, I'm really proud of myself for kind of like staying true to me. And like, I was 25. I was like being silly and sexy and like making out with this random boy and like taking tequila shots off of his abs on television. Sure. Like that's pretty standard for 25 in the Hamptons. But I built some really great friendships and I was proud of the way I handled myself. And so I remember just being really almost like hurt. It's almost like if you get uninvited from something. Yeah. That's like what it kind of felt like in the beginning. But then Winter House happened and that was like the worst month of my entire life, I think ever. And like girls were mean to me, boys were mean to me. Everyone was horrible. I had a meltdown and like then the internet turned on me and was like, you're an idiot and you're so horrible. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like you try getting gaslit by a narcissist on national television and then you call me and let me know how that was for you. But it's funny because even after having like the really amazing experience of summer and then like the really terrible experience of winter, you kind of leave and you have this opportunity to reflect on like, what was I like before this? What was it like during? And now how am I feeling after? And I'm like a very self-reflective person. I do a lot of like inner work, and that I would say is more recent. Like that came mostly after doing it. But it's funny because I recently asked myself, like, why did I do it in the first place? Like, what was I trying to accomplish? And I came up with two things that I think were really kind of my driving forces. One is that like, I don't say no to new adventures. Like when I'm 100, I want to be like, yeah, someone offered me a spot on a reality TV show in the Hamptons for a summer and I got paid to party. That was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I'm not ever going to be like, sounds terrible, because it doesn't sound terrible. And then the second one, which like is pretty vulnerable, and I don't know if I've ever said out loud before, is that I think I was feeling kind of lonely in the world, like kind of lost in the world. Like when you're 25, you're figuring out who you are, what you're doing.
Your quarter life crisis.
Yeah. And it's funny, sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize. You're just kind of like living your life and you're doing all these things, but all of the things are random and you don't feel like there's a cohesive like purpose and drive. And I think I've always worried about what other people thought of me. And I was always like, if people know that I feel isolated and lonely and like lost, they're going to judge me for that. And I had this very conscious thought, which is kind of sad looking back on it. I'm like, girl, love you. Which is that maybe if I'm a little famous, I will not appear lonely. Mm-hmm. Like people won't know.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be cool and popular and people will like me. And
you'll get like invited to things and do, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'll seem like relevant and like, I'll seem like aspirational. And it's so funny to look back on that because I've done so much growing since the end of the show. And I hear all the time, like, would you go back? Would you go back? Would you do a different one? And now the answer is no. Mm-hmm. And it's not because I'm saying no to an adventure and opportunity. It's no because I have found the drive and the purpose and I have found myself and figured out who I am. And so I don't feel lost anymore. I don't feel lonely anymore. Even when I'm by myself. And it's just funny to kind of reflect on all that and be like, you know, there were good things about it and bad things about it. The reality TV of it all. In the end, you can never say like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. I regret it, because it all brings you to where you are now. But it also is a really powerful tool for like figuring out who you are. I mean, who else gets to say like, I watched myself
that must be weird.
out of body for like 10 weeks over the summer and like a month over the winter. It's really crazy. So it's a really good opportunity. It was a really good opportunity, I think, for me to like just figure out who I am.
So what has your like life and career trajectory been since then?
So right afterwards, you're kind of like spit back out into the world and you're like, now what? And you kind of lose your identity, because now for the last like however long, because don't forget, like we film for 10 weeks, but there's press, there's like events, there's premiere parties.
Like downtime where like you film and then like no one knows who you are, and then all of a sudden everyone knows who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like and also by the way, it's an enormous time commitment. Yeah. Like you are thinking about this, filming this, waiting for this to come out, keeping this a secret, all of the things, doing press about it for like every second of every day while it's happening. And so for basically 2 years, it like consumes you. And I kept my other jobs. Like other people fully like quit their jobs when they do stuff like this. I was like, oh no, like that's crazy. I can't do that.
What were your other jobs at the time?
At the time, I was running my marketing agency, Feher Agency. And I was doing like consulting for brands, mostly like B2B stuff, influencer programming, like community building, content creation, content strategy, that kind of stuff. It was mostly that. And then I was also doing like influencer stuff on the side. But it's funny, like you're so all consumed by it that like in the immediate aftermath, when you're like, whoa, I'm not going back to that. You're like, who the fuck am I without this thing? Yeah. Like, I don't remember who I was before it. And I think that hit me extra hard because I also didn't know who I was before it, right? Yeah. Like there were like 3 years there where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so it took me a while to like find my stability again. But since then, I think in the parts where I was growing and finding myself and figuring out what mattered to me, that's where my career kind of came back to me in a slightly different shape. I'm still doing the marketing agency where I do some consulting. I sit on the advisory board of another marketing agency. That is where I did my first internship ever.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. My first real internship ever, I should say. I had some like fake ones in high school, but I'm very close with the founder of that company and like the team. And so I sit on the board of that company and do a lot of advising for them. And I just love them. And then I still do some creator stuff. And then the podcast kind of came to me because
Life in Caps Lock is your
Caps Lock. And we're like at Life in Caps Lock. And the idea was like, I was on a journey to find myself and I had kind of like gotten over this hump where I was like, this is really hard. Like there are so many options of like who I can be and kind of distilling what matters to me and what my values were. And at the same time, I was going on this health journey that for the first time in my life was not about being skinny. And that was like a huge breakthrough for me. I think a lot of girlies can relate. Like I had some weirdness around food and eating and exercising when I was in like a little bit of high school and then more so in college. And then right after that, you move to New York and everyone's like smoking cigarettes and doing coke and not eating. And you're kind of like, okay, not great. Like don't love it. And since I wasn't smoking cigarettes and doing coke, I was like, how am I supposed to be skinny like you guys? Like, this is crazy. So I had I would say my philosophy around exercising and eating was like, how can I look so skinny? And coming out of that and transitioning into like, how can I be strong was life-changing. Mm-hmm. I remember I was working from home with my friend Taylor, who actually just came on my podcast. She had a baby. I was working from home with her at Spring Cafe Aspen downtown. And we were talking about weightlifting and she was like, I really think you should go heavier. Like the whole thing about weights making women bulky is not true.
I just had a baby last year.
Sorry, what?
And I just started weightlifting right after.
Where? Okay.
Because I was like, oh, this is like how I'm gonna be like fit. But not like try to pressure myself to be like skinny right away.
Right. Which like isn't really why we should be doing this, right?
I was like never lifted a weight before.
Same.
Yeah.
And I was like cardio. Yeah. I was like, and I was kind of going to Rumble, but it's less strength and more cardio and like HIIT. So I was using really light weights. I would use like the 5 pounds and the 7.5 pounds. And then my friend Taylor was like, I think you should go heavier. I think you would like really like how it feels. And she was explaining to me and she was like, in the simplest of terms, like one day you'll go to pick up your groceries and it will be easier.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds cool. Like, I'll give it a shot. That changed my life because I started loving how I looked and it was like way more effortless because I wasn't devoting all this brain space to like, oh my God, I can't eat for the next 12 hours. Like I have to figure out a way to like drink enough caffeine and like work out at the right time so that I'm not hungry. Like it was exhausting. Mm-hmm. So that was the beginning of the health journey for a reason other than skinny. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I'm working out and eating right to be strong. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, what else can this give me? Like, what else can this do for me? And the answer I kept coming back to was like, I can live better like this for longer if I just do the right things, right? Like if you're not eating like the super processed foods, if you're not like if you're sleeping right, if you're lifting weights, all of those things actually extend your lifespan. And instead of turning like 80 and then living 10 more years bedridden, you could turn 80 like my Nana, who's 86 now. And she just played in a tennis tournament with her friend who's also 86 against 2 women who played the Australian Open as professional tennis players. And they play tennis 4 times a week. And she's like a crossing guard at the local school. Like she's like a volunteer crossing. Like
that's so cute.
It's so cute. But it's also like I have 2 grandmas who are still living. And one of them has been attached to an oxygen tank for like 2 or 3 years. And the other one's playing a tennis tournament against women who played in the Australian Open. Mm-hmm. And the difference between them is that one of them like really prioritized socializing and exercising and lifting weights and staying active and being out in the world. And the other one is like agoraphobic and like really preferred to live her life at home and never exercised like a day in her life. And watching my grandfather pass away like a year ago and like he was really active. So like it was a pretty smooth transition. And then my grandma now who like doesn't really exercise, who's having such a hard time, just like kind of seeing all that at the same time that I was going on this health journey, I was like, I think what matters to me the most is like how I feel and how long I feel it. Mm-hmm. which was like, I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. I want to feel capable. I want to feel empowered and powerful. And I want to feel like I can make that choice proactively instead of just getting lucky.
Yeah.
And so the podcast came kind of as a result of that. I started, going down the rabbit hole of like, this is weird. Like I'm doing my crazy HIIT workout every day and I am so puffy, like bloated and inflamed. That's so weird. Why? Like I thought it was supposed to make me skinny.
I was doing berries like all the time and I was like, wait, why do I look like worse?
Yeah. Because we're doing it every day. We're not supposed to do it every day. And then your cortisol is like permanently up here. And you're like, I don't get it. Like, aren't I supposed to be like so skinny? And so just starting to kind of reframe like why I'm doing it and how it affects me. And then you start learning all this information and you're like, I have to tell someone about this. Like this is crazy. And then I'll stop talking about this in a sec because I get so like serious about it. But what happens after that is then you start being like, do I trust this source? Like, do I Google this and then I find out something and I'm like not really sure if it's true? And then you're like, okay, the whole health space and wellness space is ruled by these like tech bros who are like kind of douchey. And you're like, they're making like these really insane claims. Like, do I just believe that? Mm-hmm. And then that's when you go so serious and you're like, okay, now I'm using medical journals and research papers and like peer-reviewed studies to get this information. And I know that all the other girlies, we're not all doing this. It's crazy to do. Like, to be clear, it's insane. But I was like, what if I could like take this 86-page research paper, understand it for myself, like spend the time reading it, understanding it, and then taking the information that's actually pertinent to us and synthesizing it and making it not only understandable for an audience of young women, but then also making it actionable, making it funny and interesting. Like I can sit here and have a conversation with you right now about C-reactive protein for the next 45 minutes.
Well, I was watching your video on that and I was like, I gotta get into the sauna.
Girl, get in the sauna. It's so good. And so that's really it. And like basically what happened was it transformed into this mission of like, okay, I have an opportunity here to take this really serious medical research and make it accessible to young women. And historically, it's not accessible to young women. It's not for young women. It's not about young women. You'd be shocked the number of studies we just apply to the world, but they only studied the male body. Mm-hmm. It's like all the subjects of the study are men. Why are women taking that advice? We're not just like smaller men.
Yeah.
We have a whole different set of everything. So now the mission is kind of way bigger than it all I kind of set out to have in the beginning. And now it's like much more serious about getting this information to women in a way that they can understand and that they can apply to their lives. And it's been really powerful.
That's awesome. I love that.
So that was like a long story long.
Well, because I get all my information from snippets on TikTok. So
right. And most of us do. Yeah. And that's how a lot of my videos start is you'll get a clip from a video from your follower in your DMs. And they're like, can we talk about this? And I'm like, sure, it's not true. That's crazy. And people will change their whole life over this one TikTok. Yeah. And then you find out women weren't even involved in the study.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's awesome. And since then too, like now you are in a relationship also.
Yeah, I'm in love.
Okay, tell me about
it's crazy. I've actually never told the story before of like how we met or what our tea is. Basically, like 7 years ago now. So I graduated school early. So I was 21 when I graduated from college and I started working at Cosmo right away. So I was working in the city and my friends were like all still in school. So I had no one to live with. I was commuting to work from New Jersey, my parents' house every day. And ultimately, like my friends moved to the city and I'm like, hey, we're still poor. Like we cannot afford this. I don't know if anyone has ever worked at a magazine. It's everyone's dream job until they see the salary. I was literally...
I interned at a magazine and I was like, oh, this is what my future earnings look like. I was like,
yeah. Literally my starting salary as a full-time employee in Manhattan was $32,900.
Yeah.
That is well below the poverty line in Manhattan. And I got overtime, but like the first year or two of that was rough. So I literally, not even kidding you, shared a bedroom with my childhood best friend in my first New York City apartment. Like we were just besties for life and we were like, we're going to sleep 5 feet away from each other. It's fine. And this is why I get pissed off when people say like, oh, look, her parents this or her parents. No, my parents didn't pay my rent. My parents didn't buy my groceries. My parents didn't they paid for my cell phone bill, I will say. And they still do. It's fine. They offered and I was like, I'd rather actually grind this out and like do it myself. So I did. And that first year when I was living there, I started dating this guy who had a sick apartment in Soho. And I was like, I'm actually just going to go like play house over there. Cause like, why would we share a bedroom if we don't have to? So I start dating this guy and through him, I meet all his friends and we date for like a year and a half maybe, but it like wasn't that serious. I was 22. I was like, this guy was like 30. I was like, well, this is so fun and like cool. And like, he's inviting me to all these cool parties and he has the sick apartment, like whatever. But we were not like in love, I think, you know, because then COVID happens and we break up and no one cries. No one's that sad. It's just like, I was 22. Like, bye. That was so nice. Thanks for the apartment. And then at the end of COVID, I kind of like have stayed in touch with the roommates and friends that he introduced me to, just because, like, again, no drama on the breakup. And I ended up going to dinner with one of these guys. And at first I was like, this is just like a platonic hangout dinner. Like, we're just catching up after COVID. And then halfway through, we're kind of like, is this a date?
Are we on a date?
Are we in love? Like, are we obsessed with each other? And we end up like making out, whatever. But this is the craziest thing. And I say this all the time when I'm telling people about how we met. It makes no sense to me because it's the only relationship I've ever had where this happened. But after that date, which was a great date, we had so much fun, like nothing weird happened. We just like didn't follow up. Neither one of us. And usually when that happens, it's like, oh no, like one person kind of like ghosted and the other person kind of like checked it. Like literally neither one of us ever followed up. It was just like this beautiful, perfect moment in time that was so fun. And then we were like, bye. And like, I don't know why. I guess like I hadn't broken up with the ex like that long ago and they knew each other. So I was like, maybe like I wasn't ready and he wasn't ready. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it like comes and goes and we actually stay in touch as friends for years. I like invite him to like a couple events I'm doing with like my company. He comes to my birthday party, like just friends. And then I invited him to my birthday party this like a year and a half ago, last birthday. And he was like, oh my God, I had so much fun last year. I would love to come. Can't, like my sister's getting engaged that weekend. I'm like, oh my God, congrats. Like have so much fun. Bye. And he texts back and he's like, should we get dinner? And I was like, sure. Yeah, we should. And now he's been my boyfriend for over a year. And
after that dinner, you guys did follow up?
Yeah. After that dinner, we literally never stopped hanging out. Basically, it was like that. And then a year and a half later, here we are.
Is he still friends with that original ex?
No, and nobody is. Like my original ex apparently turned out to be like a little sketchy. Okay. And I didn't know that until after we broke up. And everyone was like, oh yeah, like he is no longer friends with anyone we know.
That's convenient because that'd be kind of awkward.
Worked out great. Yeah. So like, I honestly don't think it would have happened if they stayed friends because I would have been like, that's weird. But the long and short of it is that like, we basically met for the first time like 7 years ago as just friends. And then we went on like one date 2 years later and nothing happened. And then we met 3 or 5 years, 4 years, I don't know how many, a million years after that. And now we're like in love. And that all kind of was just a funny story to me. I was kind of like, that's so weird. Like, I don't know if I'm going to tell that long-winded story to people, but like, whatever, that's how we met. And then we were at my childhood best friend's wedding in May. And the groom's parents, I was like introducing him and they were like, how'd you guys meet? You're so cute together. And like, I was going to be like, oh, like I just dated a friend of his and like, that's how we met. And like crazy. Cause like, I'm not going to tell that story to like someone's parents. Like that's a lot. And he took the lead on telling the story. And he was like, have you ever heard of the 3 meetings theory?
3 meetings theory? I've never heard of that.
Me neither. I was like, wait, what do you mean the 3 meetings theory? Are you just making this up? And he was like,
you heard of this?
Yes. My friends, what? By the way, mind you, like our 1-year anniversary is coming up. Like, it's not like we're like new. Yeah. Like we've been dating for like 9-10 months. I was like, that's crazy.
So what is this theory? I need to know.
This theory, the 3 meetings theory, basically says you meet the first time when you're not thinking about it like that. Oh, I guess actually I'll do this in a more concise way for the pod because it's a lot. The 3 meetings theory basically says the first time you meet, you're not interested. The second time you meet, you're not ready. And the third time you meet and it's right. And so it's funny because like the first time we were just friends, like totally platonic, like I'm dating your friend, whatever. We're not even considering each other that way. And then the second time we meet was this date where we like had the best time, but for whatever cosmic reason, we didn't pursue anything. And then the third time was like it. And we've been inseparable ever since. And it's so crazy to think about because I'm like, wait, where did you come up with that?
Is that like a thing or did he make that up?
So I think it's like internet lore. That's where he said he found it is like there's no like psychological thing, but it's kind of like the red string theory, if you've heard of that, or like the invisible string theory. It's just like internet fodder. So anyway, I made this TikTok about it and thousands of people commented saying like, oh my God, same. This happened to me. This is me and my partner's story. Like, oh my God. And I was just really kind of blown away by that. And I think, you know, it's kind of like astrology. It's like the horoscopes are so generic that like it fits everyone. Yeah. So you're like, oh man, I'm such a Gemini.
Like a really detailed birth chart, and then I like...
Same. And if anyone really wants one, call this woman named Eliza Kelly, who's like a celeb astrologer. She's so crazy detailed about it, and like she predicts my life. It's very crazy. I have an astrologer like you do too. That's amazing. Oh my God. Okay. She's really great too. Hop on a flight to Portugal. You got this. Yeah. Okay. Smart. Anyway, it's just like kind of a funny roundabout story, but that's how we met. And I think like the time wasn't right until it was.
Well, and right before we sat down, you were saying you've never tried on an engagement ring before. So I want to play fun.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So I have a couple, because we're an engagement ring company.
Yes.
I have just 3 different rings. And I want you to tell me like what kind of like woman wears this ring.
Oh my God, love. Okay.
And then this will be your first time trying them on.
That's crazy.
So let's start like pretty classic and simple. This is a 4.5 carat oval diamond set in a 2-tone solitaire with hidden halo.
Okay, this girl has the Rode lip gloss phone case, and she does not subscribe to Bieber hate. She loves Haley. She loves Rode. She loves Justin, against her better judgment, and she's chronically online. This is gorgeous. I love it. Also, I actually wear rings on my ring finger already, and this is just leftover from being 22 and being like, I'm not engaged. Who cares? Like, no one would think I was engaged. I'm just a baby. And now I'm like have these rings on my fingers, and it actually serves a different purpose now, which is like, I still wear them just because I love them. But now I go out and guys don't hit on me because they're like, oh, she's married. She's not. That's okay. It's so pretty. My friend Christina designed the gold rings that I wear. And I was just thinking the other day, like, oh, it's going to be so sad to take off my rings when I get engaged. Like, happy reason, but like kind of sad. And then I was like, wait.
You don't have to take them off.
No. And it's like such a cute bridge to like old me to new me, like single girl to married girl. And I was like, maybe I'll have her design me a wedding band to go with an engagement ring someday. It's so pretty. This is crazy. I'm like nervous. Do you hear that a lot?
Oval?
Yeah, I love the oval. I think I really like a solitaire. I think I like how simple it is because I've got so much else going on.
Yeah, and it goes with all your other jewelry.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit more like unique twist on the one we just saw. So this is a 4.5 carat marquee, which are like popular now because of Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
And this is on a pave knife edge.
How many carats is this?
4.5, but they look huge.
Yeah.
I know. Marquises look enormous because of their pointy and long.
Oh my God, it's so pretty. Oh my God, you guys. I'm getting engaged to Olivia right now. Who I believe is spoken for. Yeah, I'm like, just said yes. This is amazing. Okay, this girl is like edgier. She's got a bunch of piercings in her ears. And she didn't want rounded edges because it just doesn't go with her aesthetic. Like, she might wear a dark lipstick sometimes, like once in a blue moon. Also, she's a creative. Like, she works in a creative industry, not something like finance. She's not a doctor. She works in like design or like some kind of cool creative job. And also she's a little bit type B. I will not elaborate. Do I love this? It's funny because I'm not type B. So I'm sitting here like, why am I obsessed with her? I think I love it because it's different.
Yeah.
And like, right now I'm a little turned off from, I used to think I was like, oh man, I'm going to have a fat oval engagement ring someday. But like, everyone kind of has a fat oval engagement ring since Haley got hers. Yep. And now the new one is pear.
Yes.
And I'm kind of like, I love those rings, but I don't love that everyone else has it. The problem, of course, being that like everything is cyclical.
Everything is cyclical, and you need to get what you love and not worry about what other people have.
Yeah.
Things come in and out of trend. Like, people like didn't like marquises were the hottest thing in like the late 80s, early 90s, that no one wanted it, and now it's like hot again, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting, that timing. Yeah. I also think after trying on the oval, I think I like a plain band, and then just like throw it all at the main stone. Wow, it's so pretty. This is so dangerous. My boyfriend's shaking.
This one's totally different. This one is a 5 carat emerald cut with tapered baguettes on a platinum setting.
So I do kind of like the platinum setting. I feel like it is like a brighter glow.
Platinum's coming back.
I also, oh my God, that's so pretty. Okay, this girl was born in Manhattan. She was born in Manhattan in one of the fancy hospitals that doesn't take insurance. Her mom has a really expensive art collection. And her dad like doesn't really work anymore. And you look at him and you're like, you're too young to be retired. So you're like, what does he do for work?
Yeah.
That's that girl.
It's generational.
It is. Yeah. She's old money. Yeah. So I was actually going to say that this girl spends her parents' money until she spends her husband's money. But I believe in empowering women no matter how much money they came from. And so I actually think this girl has a finance job. And she's one of those girls who like documents it on TikTok, but will never quit her job to be a full-time influencer. She's like actually a finance girl.
Kind of love that.
Yeah, she's cool. This is so pretty and I wasn't really expecting.
It's really different from that other one.
Yeah. And also has other stones, which I wasn't expecting. This is a very low setting. So you'd have to get a band, I think, that goes around
or
it.
Or just wear a band on another hand.
Which is what my mom does. Is that what you do too? Yeah. Because I do love, I will say, a low setting. The higher setting makes me feel like that rock is like in the ocean, Kim. There's people that are dying. You know, she lost that in the ocean. Yeah. Wow, these are so pretty. How many carats is that one?
5.
They're gorge. Get it away from me. Otherwise, I will walk out with her on.
Thank you for playing. We also
That's a fun game.
We also have all of these, and you can just try on whatever you like if anything calls to you.
I'm seeing bezels like on the internet a lot.
Yes.
Which I feel like is a newer trend.
Bezels are coming back because everything
They're back
is
again.
cyclical. But yeah, I think it's just like it's a very secure setting. It's very sleek.
Yeah.
And I think it gives it like kind of a modern aesthetic to like a classic.
Yeah. I also have always loved like chunky gold jewelry. Like I love the idea of a wide band. I know the Whisper Thin is like very trendy right now.
Actually, wider bands are
also coming back.
They're super in right now. So
wow.
Like, even stuff like this is like a thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I also love it with the emerald because it's very kind of art deco, I feel like. Very like thick and...
So thin bands were really, really in for like years. And now I think people are going and opting for thicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, I also think that like what comes with all of these different trends and like things that really blow up is people are really oppositional toward them too at some point. And I was listening to, I don't know if I was listening to a podcast or talking to someone about this the other day, but they were like, over the last couple of years, like the influencer weddings are so out of control. Like they're like $500,000, like $1 million for a wedding. Everything is like 18 outfits, like destinations, 700 guests, like all this stuff. And that's so beautiful and like aspirational. But now people are saying like courthouse weddings are so back because people are so like, why would I spend $1 million on my wedding day? It's like out of touch. It's all this. But we're not just seeing courthouse weddings. We're seeing like such cool courthouse weddings and like such cool civil ceremonies. That's kind of like, okay, maybe I'll get married at like the courthouse and then rent out the Polo Bar. Like, that's cool.
Are you like a girl that has like always thought about her wedding?
Girl, yeah. Girl, yeah. Girl, I had 450 people at my sweet 16.
Oh my God.
So like I stay thinking about my wedding. And it's actually, people are like, I think people are a little judgy when you say that. They're kind of like, oh my God, you're so obsessed with this party and like how it looks to people and like what you're presenting to the world. And I'm like, no. And the same reason I've always thought about my wedding day is why I'm so serious about my own birthday, which is like so silly. Like, what am I, 5? But the reason is because how many excuses do you have in this lifetime to get everyone you love in a room together?
That's true.
And like though every best memory of my life to date was a time when all of those people were together. I can like count them on my hands, right? Like my last day on earth, you know how everyone's like, what would you do in like your perfect day, right? My last day on earth would literally be a barbecue in my parents' backyard because that is like my tradition that I do on my birthday. And every year we do that barbecue and everyone I love is there.
What's your sign or your big?
I'm a triple Gemini. You know, I'm mentally ill. And that's why I'm like, I'm such a Gemini. Like I actually...
No one's
I'm
like
a Gemini.
1 million jobs.
Yeah. 1 million jobs and 1 million personalities, like whatever.
I don't think I've ever met a triple Gemini.
Me neither. I actually don't think I've met a triple anything. I might have met a triple. I feel like someone on the podcast was like a double or triple Scorpio. And I was like, whoa, you're insane. I'm terrified of you. But of course I love that because I like feed off of people's chaotic energy. I'm just going to keep trying these on quietly while we're talking. And
So what's your dream wedding or elements of it?
So glad you asked. It changes all the time, partly because I'm a Gemini and partly because like I think you grow up and figure out your identity. And also partly because I ebb and flow with the trends, right? I'm sometimes with them. I'm sometimes oppositional against them. Right now, and this is so different, right? I just said 450 people were at my Sweet 16. Right now, I want like 75 people at my wedding. And my boyfriend and I the other day were like, let's see if we like theoretically could do that. We can. Like my absolute A-list is like 95 people. Mm-hmm. So,
which is still small.
Yeah. My dream would be like for it to be 150 or less.
It's a good size. I
agree. And we're very into art. We're very into books. Like he's seriously like a literature guy. And I just love to read. And he's actually like made me a better reader. Like I used to read mostly chick lit. And now I'm like reading real like thought-provoking works and like classics and stuff like that. I think like for me, my vision of my wedding has changed depending on like who I think I'm going to marry in my head. And I've never been as serious about anyone as I am about my boyfriend. And so in the past, it's always kind of been like, I guess I could see that guy fitting into this vision. But with my boyfriend, I'm like, we're getting married in either a library or an art museum. And like, that's this vision that I have. Like, I think it would be so cool to do something like the Frick, which is reopened now.
It's beautiful.
Or
do they do weddings?
Anyone does a wedding if you're spending enough zeros on it, right? And like, here's the thing. I actually don't think it's responsible to spend $1 million on a wedding, right? Like I'm a homeowner and it has like sucked me fucking dry to like buy a house and renovate it. So now I look at money a lot differently than I used to. But like, it depends. Like I had a friend who, the best wedding I've been to 2 amazing weddings that were like my top 2 favorite weddings I've ever been to. And they're completely different. One was at the Henry Flagler Museum in Palm Beach. Mm-hmm. So beautiful. Tons of infrastructure, like super glam. The florals alone, like could probably buy a house, right? And the other one was in my friend's backyard. Wow. And she was like, it was actually like more expensive because you had to build the infrastructure, right? And like bring a kitchen and caterers and stuff. They're completely opposite. And I think what I've boiled it down to is like the most important thing is the love in the room. Mm-hmm. Like that is what those 2 weddings really have in common. And that's why they were my favorite weddings. And like the rest you could have or you could do without. Mm-hmm. That said, I think like that's part of why I like the idea of keeping it a little bit smaller, just because I don't want to meet anyone for the first time on my wedding day.
I felt the same way.
Like I'm pretty serious about like, I don't know you. Yeah. Sorry. This is like, I get one shot at this. Yeah. I'd like to do it like that. And other than that, like I'm really into kind of minimalist stuff right now. I actually have toyed with the idea of doing like the civil ceremony and like buying at a restaurant.
I have both.
Yeah, I like that idea. Why not? Have 3, have 4. Yeah. You're marrying one person ever, and like that's your like love story. So like have as many parties to celebrate that as you want.
Yeah,
whatever. But I think that's it. Is like I almost don't know anymore because there's so much inspo and like the trends change and like I feel differently all the time, but like smaller and just like really intimate and like sentimental. And the dream venues are like the
that's all that
library
matters.
And art.
I think you just want to have people that, you know, are going to be there, not like be like judging like the florals or like this or that.
Shut up.
Like, happy to like celebrate you.
Yeah. And also I think another thing is
and have fun.
We love a party. Like we love a party. And so I think no sit down dinner.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been to like 1 or 2 of them and I'm like, this is way better. I don't want to sit there for 2 hours and hear like your dad's friend's uncle's cousin talk about like inside jokes they have with you for 45 minutes while we eat like a dry steak.
I know. And I've been to so many weddings that are like so beautiful and like obviously so expensive, but then there was like no dancing or partying or fun. And then I've been to other ones that aren't as expensive or lavish and you're dancing the whole time, and those are like the most memorable.
Yeah. It's like, you know how people say like people don't remember what you say, they remember how you made them feel. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about weddings. Is like, I won't remember your florals, to be honest. I won't remember what kind of flower it is. I won't remember the side dish that you put with like the entree, unless it's really bad, in which case I'll remember that forever. If you burn me with my food, we're done. But like people won't remember that stuff. They'll remember how felt with the energy in the room. And like to me, the important stuff is like the love between the bride and the groom. If you can feel that, that's what people walk away with. And also like, did you have fun?
Yeah.
Like, did you dance your ass off and like your whoop counted 18 million steps last night because you were on the dance floor till 4 a.m. Like, great. And of course you have to feed them, right? So you do. And like, I love black tie. So you like have to do that at like 6 p.m. or later for like etiquette reasons. So like, I'm like nighttime. So you have to feed them because you're overlapping dinner. But like, do heavy past hors d'oeuvres, do stations, do like a grazing table. Like, I don't need 8 ounces of
I kind
braised
of love
meat.
that idea.
It's pretty fun. And I think we're going to see a lot more of it because I think people are trying to like, that lull in the vibes then bleeds over to the dance floor. Like, you're ruining the dance floor. No one can like get it back up for the dance floor. And it's probably less expensive, honestly, to not do a sit down dinner.
No, definitely.
And like, I will tell you what, I have heard some bad wedding speeches in the last couple months. And like, I don't want to give those people an opportunity at my wedding to fuck it up. Like, don't talk about your second wife. I had a friend tell me a story the other day of how like someone, like the bride's mom or the groom's mom, went up and talked all about how like second marriages are great because like her first
marriage wedding.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's crazy. Don't do that. So yeah, I think that's like my only hot take. Like that's kind of my big one is like, maybe don't sit down and eat dinner. Just like ceremony, cocktail hour, D floor.
I love it.
Thanks. Oh, and wait, I have another hot take. Okay. No props. No sunglasses, no light up cowboy hats, no glowing things.
No props.
That shit ends up on the ground. It's tacky in photos. Wasteful. It's wasteful. How about this? I was at a wedding that had those like foam glow light up sticks. They all end up on the floor. I'm dancing. I pierced through one with my heel and it like followed me around the dance floor for like 10 minutes before I realized. I was like, I hate this. I hate it here. So like, I'm anti-prop also.
That also saves money.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, true. And the environment. Like, girl, I don't have that $20 left for the foam light up thing. I'm actually bled me dry. I'm good.
So what do you have in the works professionally? Talk to a little bit personally.
I think this next chapter, I think it's like I've found myself. I've found something that I really care about. And I've also embraced and accepted that I'm a human and I'm fluid and like things change. Like the same things I really cared about the most 5 years ago, like some of them don't exist for me now. And as a triple Gemini, if you want to go that way, or as just like a creative, like entrepreneurial person, like my interests and like where I direct my energy changes all the time. I get bored. I like learn something new and it changes my opinion. Like I think I've come to this conclusion that like, I don't need to be tied to this identity I set for myself when I was 18 because like, I thought that's who I should be. I've decided that like, I know who I am and what my values are and everything else is mutable. Everything else, like what fits those values can come and go as it pleases. But like, I don't need to be this like rigid, like really specific version of myself that like sounds good or looks good on paper. Like I'm just going to let myself go where I'm pulled. And as a really like strongly type A control freak, this is like the first time I've ever truly felt like I can pull that off. So it's just going to be a little bit like listening to myself, like talking. I was going to say talking less, but I'm a podcaster. It's not happening. But like kind of setting fewer rules for myself and like listening to myself, listening to like the world, absorbing as much as I can and kind of going with the flow a little bit. That's my future.
I love that.
Thanks.
So where can people listen to you, follow you, do all the things?
You can't escape me. It's like the best part of it all. My personal Instagram is @Samantha Feher. Personal TikTok, where I'm like way more annoying and like funny and like unhinged, is @Feher because someone took my fucking username. And by the way, I took my username and posted pics of me on it. And
what?
I was like, I think that's illegal.
That's so weird.
Whatever. It's like too expensive to send a lawyer after them. And in case you were wondering, like you can report that all you want. TikTok's like, I don't think they're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
They're just pretending to be me.
Sure. Yeah. So on TikTok, I'm @Feher. The podcast is Caps Lock. On social, it's Life in Caps Lock because I want you to live your life bigger, better, louder, longer. And that's it. Otherwise, you can find me in real life at any given coffee shop or salad place on the Upper East Side.
Are you on the Upper East Side?
Yeah, and I love it.
The Upper East Side is like the new West Village.
Yeah.
Saying.
And also, like, that's where I bought my apartment because I was like, what part of New York is never going to go out of style?
So smart.
Timeless.
And it's up and coming.
Yeah. Yeah, wait. Can we talk about how the hottest new restaurant in the whole city, Chez Fifi, opened on the Upper East Side? We're getting the places.
People were sleeping on the Upper East Side for a little bit, whatever. And now it's like, it's coming back and it's hot because all the young people are moving back.
Yeah. And I used to think like, oh my God, that's like a death sentence to your grandma when you move up there. And I was like, oh, I don't go below 60th now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No, when I went to NYU, I was like, I don't go above 14th Street.
Same.
Now I'm like, I literally don't go below. Like,
I'm like, it's kind of dirty down there.
Yeah.
Like, ew. Like, I'm not interested. Like, it smells bad. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's the vibe forever now.
Amazing. Love it.
That was so fun.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
for having me.
Yeah, thank you.